Torah tells us in the next parsha about many of the details related to the construction of the mikdash. Va'asu li mikdash, you should make for me a mikdash, says Hashem, v'shachanti b'socham, and I will be able to dwell in that mikdash amongst you, or maybe literally inside of you. The Torah tells us about all the different vessels. The Torah tells us you're going to create the shulchan, and you're going to place it michutz laparochas, outside of the parochas. Ves ha-menorah, and the menorah nochach ha-shulchan, is going to be opposite the shulchan. Al tzel ha-mishkan teimana, on the southern wall. V'ha-shulchan titein al tzel tzafon, and the shulchan, which is going to be opposite the menorah, is going to be on the northern wall. So you're going to place the menorah on the southern wall, and then the shulchan is going to be on the northern wall. What's in the west? In the west is the Kodesh HaKadoshim, is the Aron, is the holiest place, and then on the east is where one would enter into the Mishkan. Shlomo Melech tells us that Orech Yomim B'Mino U'Mismala Osher V'Chavod, that length of days, days in this world, the length of days is on the right side, and on the left side is wealth and honor. What does those two things refer to? So Chazal tells us that length of days, Orech Yamim, is not length of days in this world, but it's length of days in the world to come, where things really matter, and that's represented by the menorah. The menorah represents Torah. Wealth and honor, kavod, that's the shulchan. The shulchan, which has the lechem hapanim, is the sustenance. That is this world. And therefore, Chazal understood that Orech Yomim b'minah, that on the right side is the menorah, while on the left side is the shulchan. But what's surprising is that that's not true from the perspective of the person who is entering into the Mishkan. If you're entering the Mishkan from the east, then on your left-hand side is going to be the south. That is where the Torah just told us that the menorah is going to be. And on your right hand, on the north, that is where the shulchan is going to be. So a pasuk which describes that Orech Yomim B'Yamina, that the length of days is on the right side. So from the person who is entering into the Mishkan, that's on the right side is going to be the shulchan. And the shulchan, we just said, represents this world. It represents Osher v'Chavod, and the sustenance and the gashmis of this world. While on the left side of the person who is entering into the Mishkan is going to be the menorah, which represents Torah, which represents length of days. So what exactly are Chazal telling us? So clearly what Chazal are telling us, and what the drasha is telling us, is that we don't look at it from the perspective of the person who is entering the Mishkan, but rather we look at it from the perspective of the person who is coming from the Kodesh HaKadoshim. The person who is coming from the Kodesh HaKadoshim, in fact, the menorah is going to be on that person's right, and the shulchan is going to be on that person's left. Why? Nobody's walking in that direction. The Kohen Gadol Yom Kippur, nobody's walking in that direction. Why would the Torah tell it to us in such a way? So Rav David Feinstein in a drasha explains that what the Torah is trying to teach us is that the only way in this world that we're going to be able to truly be able to decipher and be able to appreciate what is significant and what is most important is if we are rooted in the Kodesh HaKadoshim. If we are coming from the perspective of the Aron, if we have Torah as our guiding light, then it is going to be that the menorah is going to be on our right and that the shulchan is going to be on our left. But if we come from the perspective of this world, if we come from the natural perspective, then it's going to be too different. It's going to be an illusion. Everything is going to appear backwards. Olam hafachu. It's an opposite world. And the menorah is going to be on the left, and the Osher and Kavod and the shulchan, that is what is going to be on the right. So our task, the Torah is telling us, and what Chazal are highlighting to us, is that although we're going to be entering from this world, so yes, we're going to be entering from the east, and technically the menorah is going to be on our left, and the shulchan is going to be on our right. The task that we have is that in our perspective of this world, we are rooted in the Aron. The Torah is our guide. The Aron and the Torah are our guiding lights, and that is what gives us the perspective. And it's challenging, because that's not the way we naturally live in this world. But that's what the Mikdash is about. When we have Asuli Mikdash, when we have a Kadosh Baruch Hu's presence, what that allows us to be able to do is to be able to flip the image around. And even when we're coming from the eastern side and the menorah is on our left, our perspective of it is that it'll be the chashav, is that it'll be the one on the right, that it's going to be significant, and that's what's going to be most important. And that's really what the mikdash is about. That if we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence, then the perspective that we have will be one that sees through the illusions of this world and is rooted in the eternity